Okay, when you get to your Canvas account, you want to open up your account right there, that tab, and you want to go ahead and click on that. And when you're in there, you can go ahead and do your profile. So from this picture, you can go ahead and edit your profile picture. That helps us to understand who we're talking to when we're first getting to know you. So it might behoove you to go ahead and put a professional photo in there. Please, no thong, no bikini, don't want to see that. Think professional photo. You can go ahead and put your photo in there. Your name is automatically added in. If you have a LinkedIn or a YouTube channel, you can always add that there. You can head to my LinkedIn in there, and then a little bit of a biography. So usually your instructors will have their name, what they prefer to be called, and a little bit of their background in there. On the notifications tab, that's where you'll see the notifications that are coming up. It'll also tell you the due dates and that you can push notifications to you. That's a little advanced, but if you want to go in there, you certainly can. Now, when you're looking at your assignment due date and you see that they're like 8:59, that's actually Arizona time. So if you want to come down here to settings on your profile page, you can actually default that to Eastern Standard Time. Everything usually, if it's on your computer in California time or Phoenix time, will knock off all of your due dates. So if you need help with that, just let us know when you get to school and we'll help you get that figured out. Because you might think that you're late for an assignment and not actually be late. Okay? So that was under your account tab. Your next one is your dashboard tab. And that basically tells you the recent activity that's happened. Now, if you wanted to go in there and see assignment notification, what's due, you could actually go ahead and show more, and that would tell you what's due. Okay. A discussion, what's new in the cafe corner, conversational message, then I know what I got for messages. And then here's all my announcements. So especially important for students, make sure you look at your announcements, because if a lab or a clinical or something were to be canceled, that's where you would get your notifications right away. So now the next one down is courses. In your courses will be a list of all of your courses. So you will notice that some of them will say practice and some of them will say practicum. So a practicum is your lab and your clinical to go with that class. So as you see here, there's a theoretical foundation in nursing practice practicum. That's your Tuesday lab class. This is your Monday class. So if I were worried about Monday's class, I would go here, and that would open up my classroom for me. Then from there, once it loads, I can show you around a little bit in here. So you may notice these from before. Your announcements will be under here. Again, any announcements made by the instructor. It probably would definitely make sure that you go in here. Now this is last quarter, so I'll get out of there. You don't think you have a test tomorrow. It's kind of jumbled from last quarters yet. But in the new classroom, you can see the announcements that I and Pomegrants have made. Professor Pomegrants has also put some stuff in there. So start reading from the bottom. Here you go. Here's the QR code for the YouTube channel for all the lectures. Then meet your professor, a little bit about me, little schedule. Please make note. Make sure that you're labeling all your APIs that are due. And then a link to the recorded lectures again right there, because this one wasn't working. This is Ms. Pomegrants, and Professor Pomegrants just wants to let you know if you have an API scavenger hunt to do, that will help you get into API this weekend. Okay. So then I can go to the syllabus. The syllabus we will be going over, but it's very important to know what's due when, what my grade is going to be, and where are my points coming from. So you can see right here, the majority of your points are coming from the exam, so it's really important to make sure that you're doing them correctly, because that's 65% of your grade. 20% comes from the Picmonics and 15% comes from the concept maps, and we'll go through this. This also tells you kind of a guide of what chapters we're doing. In the modules, that breaks down each one of those. So when you go into your module, you want to go ahead and hit this integrity statement and get this integrity statement out of the way. That clearly shows you, when you preview that and say yes to each one of those, what you are saying yes to is that in accordance to the integrity statement and the code of conduct, you are turning in each assignment your own work, with the exception where I have properly cited and referenced the works of others, so no plagiarism. The work that I submitted for this course will not have been submitted to any other course or academic institution, and I will conduct myself in the manner set forth in the code of conduct. So this is especially important if you're retaking the class, to make sure that you're not resubmitting last quarter's work. So go ahead and submit that, and then all of your stuff will drop down in the module. When you go back to the module, you'll be ready to go. So right here, it tells me Module 1, what's due next week, is scope and practice. So I want to know a little bit more about that. I can go in here. This is going to tell me the big concepts that we're going to be looking at, and go through a little content history. So I can basically take this and put it in a Word document and make notes from it, because this is what the school thought would be most important. So if the school thought it was most important, it's probably going to be on the test. Okay. So once I do that, I can go ahead and hit next, and that's going to take me to the next part, which is the pre-class work that I need to do. So the pre-class work needs to be done prior to coming to class, and it's your ticket in the door, so to speak. So it's going to tell me, go to my book and read chapter 1, 16, and 21. And then I also have some things to do over in ATI. So I'm going to go to ATI and go to Nurses Touch Professional Communication, Nurses Touch Becoming a Professional Nurse, and Nurse Logic 2.0, which is the Priority Setting Frameworks module. So what I would do is write that down or print this out, and then I know where I've got to go to get this done. Now you notice these are recommended readings. I can't make you do it, but if you went to the fundamentals book that you were given, that box of books, the one for API fundamentals, chapter 1, 2, 5, 6, and 32 are going to be covered as well. So that gives you another reading material that you can brush up a little more on if you feel that these weren't enough. Okay. Now again, all of these are in my YouTube channel. These are in API. Okay, so then I can go to the next. And the next one, it says reading. So this is my book, and I just want to hit this. And that's going to bring my book forward to me so that I can start reading my book. So when I hit ebook or view ebook, my ebook's going to open. And F.A. Davis is a monster all of its own. I'm sure the other students will tell you about Davis. F.A. Davis is a huge book company with tons of extras in here. So I will let the students tell you all about that. But inside of your book, you actually have a QR code, and you can bring it over to your phone as well. So the material that you need is under here, How Nurses Think. And 1, 16, and 21 were the chapters that I need to look for. So I want to go ahead in here. I might also look at these two as well, because I noticed that there is a lecture that's been also recorded on those two chapters. So they're probably important. And then I can go over here So I keep going down until I find my chapter that I need to read. So Essential Nursing Interventions, number 16, Patient Education, and number 21, Safety. So if I were to go into chapter 21, I can go ahead and read. Now look on here, there's some more learning outcomes. So if the book thought that these were so important that they might give you a test later, these might be the ones that I would have in a Word document while I'm reading. I make sure that I do this. So when I read something about the 3 leading causes of accidental death in the U.S., I can go ahead and copy and paste this whole thing to a Word document, put 1, 2, 3, and now I have made a study guide for myself to make sure I know what's going to be on the test, or what could be on the test, might be on the test, would come from these highlights. Okay? So every single chapter, if you want to go ahead and take these, put them in a Word document, and start taking notes, then half of your work's all done for you. The key concepts, just remember this as well, the key concepts might be something that I would definitely need to know for this chapter. So I just go ahead and read through. Oh, look, the leading causes of intentional death. So then half of my work's done when I get done reading this. Okay. So there's plenty of stuff in here, and I can take notes of the things that I think might be on the test. If they're brought forward to me in like a big point, a key point, that might be important to know. Okay. So a lot of the times falls are going to be on the test, right? Because we don't want a patient to fall in the hospital. So how do I make sure that they're okay at home? How do I make sure they're okay in the hospital? Those are things that are probably on the test. The other thing that they love to ask about is race and path. If you don't know what race and path are, you should probably have those on your paper to also look up. So race and path are for fires in the hospital and what to do and how to rescue patients. So usually that's also in the safety chapter. And you'll see it down through here. You'll see all kinds of safety things that we deal with every day in nursing. There you go. There's race. And path is the way that you use the fire extinguisher. So plenty of things in here. So that's your book. Your book is F.A. Davis. Okay. There's plenty of other things in here as well. There's some grades, oh gosh, in the resources, there's tons of stuff in here. Okay. So these knowledge maps, very, very helpful if you were to go to view that knowledge map. If you can explain this to another person, okay, if you can explain this to another person, then you pretty much know what's going to be on the test, okay? So these knowledge maps are very, very important. They'll help you put together everything you need to know, okay? So back out here on the module, I go down and I click next, then it takes me to the next part. And now I can see the pre-class work that I need to have done before class is sitting right here. So I can go Nurses Touch Professional Communication, fabulous. And then when I get ready, I can submit my assignment right here. But in the meantime, I'm going to go over to API. And when I log into API, if you don't have the login, please let me know, and I can get that done this weekend for you. But you're going to have this paperwork done before class. So I go ahead and log in. And then when I log in, I want to make sure this is an Arizona.com address in here, not gmail.com or yahoo.com. I want to make sure it's my school address. Okay. API is giving me a glitch right now, so I can't come out here but I will go ahead and record another part 2 of this to get you into ATI as well. It's not going to work for me right now. I don't want to waste your time, but I just can't get in right now. Sometimes there's a lot of people trying to get in, so it's not going to allow me in. Or it may be, oh yeah, Friday. They're going to do it's going to be down on Friday, so you definitely want to get this done ahead of time. If this were to let me in, then I would go to my Learn tab, and on my Learn tab would be those things. I'll go ahead and make another video as soon as I can.